అది సౌండ్
Kumaresan, sir.
Second.
Shall we start, sir?
Yes, sure.
Okay. 1 minute. Roll. Can you start the recording?
Yes, sure.
Wait, sir.
Sir, would you like to give an introductory remark?
Yes, sir. Please, sir. Wait, sir.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. S. Shekhar, founder and managing trustee of Star International Foundation for Research and Education. I welcome you all for the 3 days online workshop on research methodology and data analysis, a smart learning. I would like to welcome our executive staff member, Mr. David, to introduce our today's resource person. Welcome, David.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Star International Foundation for Research and Education, it is an honor for me to introduce today's guest of honor, Dr. D. Kumaresan. He is a well-known teacher, an experienced leader, an active researcher, and a great mentor. Dr. Kumaresan is a top-level scholar with many high degrees, including MCOM, MSc in Psychology, MBA, and MA in English, along with an MPhil and a PhD in Commerce. He has also passed the CELT exam and trained in chartered accountancy, showing his very strong professional background. With 28 years of teaching experience and 23 years in research, Dr. Kumaresan has served the world of education with excellence. He has served as a principal for 12 years and a Senate member of Periyar University for 13 years. He is often invited as an expert to check college standards and ranking and serves as a member of several university boards. As a famous speaker, he has shared his knowledge in over 100 plus conferences, 200 plus webinars, and 300 plus workshops, especially in research methodology and AI for research. His passion for helping students is clear, as he guided more than 160 doctoral researchers. He has written many books and over 54 research papers for well known journals. Beyond his work as a teacher, he is a Tamil poet and a great speaker on the Ramayana. He is also active in social service and helping young people. For his amazing work, he has received many honors, including the Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan National Award. Currently, he is professor and director at K.S.R. College of Arts and Science for Women. We are truly lucky to have such a respected person with us today. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our guest of honor, Dr. D. Kumaresan sir. Now I hand over the session to Dr. Kumaresan sir.
Thank you, Dr. K.S.R. and David. Respected founder, Dr. K.S.R. and managing director, David. Respected faculty members, research scholars, and students, a warm and pleasant evening to one and all. At the very outset, I'd like to thank the Star Foundation for Research and Education, Star International Foundation for Research and Education, for having invited me to serve as the resource person for this 3-day workshop on research methodology, a smart learning. At this juncture, I would like to appreciate and congratulate the efforts of Dr. K.S.R. and his team for having initiated to organize such programs free of cost to all the participants, faculty members, research scholars, and students in order to inculcate valuable insights to the research scholars particularly. And this 3-day workshop has been organized with a theme of research methodology and data analysis, a smart learning. Sir, is the PPT visible, sir? Second,
No, sir.
now,
Yes, sir. Now visible.
okay, thank you. So we have organized this program for 3 days. Each day has a separate module with a different focus. Research methodology, basically, that is what to be known to every research scholar as well as the research supervisors. Quite often we say research methodology, type of research, methods of research design and all. But what it is in fact, we should know clearly. A strong foundation about the research methodology will help you to complete your research smoothly and perfectly. That is why today's module is about methods of research, sample size determination, and sampling methods. So 3 core aspects we have taken for today's discussion. Methods of research. What are the different methods of research available? What are the definitions? What are the meanings? How to understand about the different methods of research? What is the importance of research? Then what is the sample size determination? How to determine the sample size? Is there any criteria? How to determine? Then the methods of sampling. These are the 3 points to be discussed today. So first of all, methods of research. Before that, we should understand what is the importance of research. Research solves many problems. If at all there is a problem, we go for a solution. That solution can be found by conducting research. So the research problem identification begins with the literature review. Whenever you start a research, before finalizing the topic, you can have the tentative topic. Based on the tentative topic, you can survey the literature. Existing literature is to be surveyed or reviewed. Based on that, you can identify the research gap. After having identified a lot of research gaps, which one is the best gap to be fulfilled by your research? What is the viability of conducting research for this particular research problem? That and all you have to decide before finalizing your topic. So before finalizing the topic, you are surveying the literature or reviewing the literature. You identify the research problem, identify the research gap, then you can consult with your research supervisor, consult with the subject experts. Then only you have to finalize the research problem. It is a good mental exercise. Physical exercise. Likewise, it is a mental exercise. We thoroughly discuss about the tentative research problem. What is it? What are the concepts underlying with the tentative research problem? How to identify the problem? What are the different concepts to be reviewed? That and all we have to do it. So why to expand the knowledge? Because once you finalize the topic, once you start carrying out the research, you should possess sound knowledge about the problem you have chosen for the study. And moreover, the research creates employment. Business analyst, data analyst are the major career opportunities for every field graduates. So it creates employment opportunities also. And it is used to gauge the public opinion. Nowadays we are expecting the public polls, elections, common elections for legislative assembly of some of the states. During this time, many television channels conduct public opinion polls. Based on that, they analyze the opinions received from various participants. Then finally, they announce the results, predictions, and all. So for gauging the public opinion, the research is must. Then finally, in order to establish the credibility of existing knowledge, already there is a knowledge, existing literature is there. In order to improve or in order to contribute more to the existing knowledge, importance is must. So this is the importance aspect which we should know about the research. Then come to the different types of research methods. You can go in the anti-clockwise: descriptive research, analytical research, applied research, fundamental research, empirical research, conceptual research, qualitative research, and quantitative research. Some of these types of research may overlap. Now let us take two types of research methods together so as to understand easily: descriptive and analytical, applied and fundamental, quantitative and qualitative, conceptual and empirical. That's all. So 4 categories containing 2 types of methods each. First one, descriptive and analytical. They are taken together to have an in-depth understanding, to have an in-depth knowledge. Whenever 2 types are taken together, it is easy to contrast and compare. If you have that contrasting knowledge, your level of understanding will be depth. For that only, I would like to suggest you to learn 2 types each: descriptive and analytical, applied and fundamental, quantitative and qualitative, conceptual and empirical. Now let us go to one by one. First of all, we have descriptive research. Descriptive research is a type of research that describes a population, a situation, a phenomenon that is being studied. You are collecting data, you are using different variables. For example, demographic variables or socioeconomic variables are there. For these variables, what type of tools you are going to apply? Normally, we are going to apply the percentage analysis. In the percentage analysis, what is the result? The result is just described. How many are there? So it focuses on answering the how, what, when, and where type of questions. Here, why type of question is not answered in the descriptive research. As I told you, you are taking the demographic variable. For example, gender. Gender is a variable. It is categorized into 2. Normally, male and female. Nowadays, depending upon the nature of study, you can include the third gender also, transgender. So male, female, and transgender. They are categories. They are categories. For analyzing the frequency of each category, we are going for percentage analysis. So what is the frequency of each category? What is the percentage of each category? While interpreting the result, we are just describing. Around 47% of the respondents are male customers, for example. Around 48% of respondents are female customers. 47 plus 48, remaining 5. So 5% of the respondents are belonging to the third category, that is the transgender. Like that here, what is the proportion of each category? How many respondents are there in each category? That's all. Here, why type of question is not taken up for discussion. That is not analyzed. So we call it as descriptive. Here, a mere description is given. This is mainly because it is important to have a proper understanding of what a problem is about before investigating why it exists in the first place. So before investigating why, we should know what a research problem is about. For that purpose, this type of research is useful. Descriptive research. Just opposite to this, we have analytical research. Here, in the analytical research, a specific type of research it is. It involves critical thinking skills and the evaluation of facts. The information relating to the research is being conducted. So here, it is a specific type. Unlike in the descriptive type, it is a different one. A variety of people, including students, doctors, and psychologists, use analytical research during studies to find the most relevant information. So you can analyze. It increases your critical thinking skills. The facts are being evaluated. Finally, the information what you have obtained in the descriptive research can also be evaluated here. So it is called analytical research. Then we go to the difference between descriptive and analytical research. The main focus of analytical research is to understand the cause and effect relationship between two or more variables. In the descriptive research, we have taken each and every variable individually. In that variable, what are the categories, what are the classes, or what are the groups we have discussed? We have just described. But here, we are going to take up two or more variables together and compare what is the relationship between these two or more variables. Like here, we can say one of the variables is dependent variable and some of the variables are independent variables. Sometimes these independent variables may influence the dependent variable. So there could be some relationship. That relationship is also cause and effect. Because of this happening, this another variable is occurring. Because of your preparation for examination very well and the presentation very well, you will be getting more marks. So for getting more marks, two variables are important. One is preparation and the other is presentation. So preparation and presentation are causes. Effect good result, good marks, isn't it? So here we analyze the cause and effect relationship between two or more variables. We are conducting a campaign for advertisement. What is the purpose? To increase the sales, increase the turnover. So, how effectively we have organized the advertisement campaign, or how much is spent on advertisement. These two variables can impact the turnover. Similarly, in the case of HR studies, what are the HR policies? Policies contains, right from recruitment and selection, training and development, compensation packages, that is wage and other compensation, welfare measures, grievance redressal, work environment or working climate, or employee engagement. These are different independent variables. These variables can have effect. These are all causes and these can affect the job satisfaction or employee performance, like that. So in the analytical study, we are going to analyze the relationship between two or more variables. So here we try to explain the reasons why and how trade deficit has moved in a specific direction within given time. What is the probability of a company over a period of time? What are the determinants of profitability? What is the liquidity position? What are the determinants of liquidity? Is there any interaction between profitability and liquidity? Like that, we are going to analyze this kind of relationship between two or more variables. So this is the difference between descriptive and analytical type of researches. Then the other two, applied research and fundamental research. In the case of applied research, applied, the name by itself, it implies that we are going to apply some existing theories. Applied research refers to scientific study that seeks to solve practical problems. What are the practical problems? For example, attrition rate is a major issue for a HR department of every company. The gold price is soaring very high. Even silver price is soaring very high, increasing day to day. Day by day, you can find in the news, gold price has increased. So what is the problem? Practical problem. The US government has imposed 25% of tax on the goods imported from India. What happened? The exporters felt that they were affected. 2 days back, the US government has announced that the tariff will be reduced to 18% from 25%. Now they feel comfortable, they feel relaxed, the exporters are relaxed. So to find out solution to practical problems, this kind of applied research is useful. So it is used to find out solutions to everyday problems or day-to-day problems, cure illness and develop innovative technologies. Nowadays we are using the fintech industry, fintech applications or technology in the banking sector or in the financial sector. Simultaneously, what is emerging? Cybercrime. So we have to prevent the fraud. So we have to detect the fraud early. So here, whenever we use some technology, there is a problem. It's an innovative technology we are using. We have developed innovative technology, but there are some problems, there are some issues. To solve that problem also, we have to develop some innovative technologies. So cyber crime is a problem. Based on that, now we have blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, they are introduced. So blockchain technology is an innovative technology to prevent the fraud, to detect the fraud at the early stage, to prevent it, to save the people from the cyber crimes. That's why a new innovative technology is developed by applied research rather than to acquire knowledge for knowledge's sake. Just for the sake of knowledge, we are not acquiring any knowledge in the applied research. We are applying the existing theories. We find out solutions to the day-to-day problems or to cure illness and to develop innovative technologies. Whereas in the case of fundamental research, it's driven by a scientist's curiosity or interest in scientific question. So in the mind of a scientist, there is some curiosity, their own interest. See, Newton's law. He was lying down under a tree, a fruit fell down. Suddenly he was thinking, why it is falling? Why should it not be held in the tree itself or in the space? Why it has fallen down? Like that, there was a thinking. There was an interest to understand. The result is Newton's law. The main motivation is to expand man's knowledge. In the previous one, not for the sake of knowledge. But here, the purpose is to expand man's knowledge. Not to create or invent something. Here, we are not going to invent anything. It is not the main purpose. Why it has happened? So there is no obvious commercial value to the discoveries that result from the basic research. Fundamental research is also called as basic research. A new theory is evolved. Like motivation theories, no? Maslow theory is there. K.S.R theory is there. How was it developed? By applying knowledge, interest, curiosity, they have developed a new theory or new knowledge. So this is a fundamental research. The next two are qualitative and quantitative. In the case of qualitative research, it deals with phenomena that are difficult or impossible to quantify mathematically, such as beliefs, meanings, attributes, and symbols. Beliefs or meanings, attributes, how I feel about it. It cannot be quantified in numerical terms, or it is difficult to quantify the beliefs or attributes or sometimes symbols into mathematical terms. In that case, we are using qualitative research. So here, the main aim of the researchers is to gather an in-depth understanding of human behavior. Why consumer is behaving like this? What is the pre-purchase behavior of consumers? What is the behavior of consumers during the purchase? What is the post-purchase behavior of consumers? Or even human behavior? Why the students are behaving like this? Why the people are agitating like that? And the reasons that govern such behavior. Why that behavior happens? How can it be understood? What are the reasons behind that? What are the factors influencing consumer behavior like that? In that case, if it is difficult to quantify the data obtained, you can better use qualitative research. So it's a method that investigate why and how decision making is made by consumers like that, or consumers, or customers, or patients, or clients, anything. Not just what, where, and when. Here, why? Why the consumers have taken this purchase decision? Why they have preferred this particular brand like that? What brand you have selected, or which brand you have selected, it is not considered here. Why you have chosen this brand? For that, we are using qualitative research. Then come to quantitative. Quantitative research often refers to the systematic, empirical. Again, we are going to discuss about empirical research later. So here, empirical investigation of any phenomena through statistical, mathematical, or computational techniques. So what is the statistics? What is the mathematics? What is the computational technique we are going to use to conduct a systematic empirical investigation? The objective of this kind of research is to develop and employ mathematical models. Nowadays, we are using structural equation modeling. Most of the research supervisors ask their research scholars to develop their own models, either through SEM model or through multiple regression, or even some other models like CFA and all, confirmatory factor analysis, path coefficient method. So here we are using models, we are using theories, or which the hypothesis we have already developed based on the objectives, research questions, and variables we have selected based on the literature review. So pertaining to the particular phenomena, because we are going to discuss about the or investigate about the particular phenomena through statistical, mathematical, or computational techniques. So generally, we make use of scientific models that includes, number one, developing models or generation of models, theories, and hypotheses. Number two, the development of instruments and methods for measurement. For this purpose, we are using quantitative research. Then the last two are conceptual research and empirical research. In the case of conceptual research, it's a methodology where research is conducted by observing and analyzing the information already present, already existing on a given topic. Conceptual research doesn't involve conducting any practical experiments. It is related to abstract concepts or ideas. So philosophers have long used conceptual research to develop new theories or interpret existing theories, like the previous one, fundamental research. Here also, in the case of conceptual research, we are using the research to develop new theories. In the economic law, law of demand, law of supply, law of marginal diminishing returns, demand elasticity. Is it not? Different laws are there, different theories are there. These theories are developed based on conceptual research. Or sometimes we can interpret in a different way the existing theories. Already some theories are there. We are using the theories and we can develop or we can interpret in a different sense, in a different way. That is called conceptual research. Finally, empirical research. I told you already, empirical, is it not? Empirical investigation, quantitative empirical investigation. Here, empirical research is a type of research methodology that makes use of verifiable evidence. Some people say, for empirical research, you have to go to the field or go to the lab, go and conduct the experiment. It's not like that. If there is an evidence that could be verified and the research is conducted based on that verifiable evidence, it is said to be empirical research. Sometimes people say, for secondary research, like financial performance of so-and-so company or Indian banking sector, in that case, some people say, no, you cannot use empirical word in this case. Empirical study on financial performance of Indian commercial banks. No. The empirical word should not be used here. It's not like that. Because we have verifiable evidence. We have financial statements, we have balance sheet, we have profit and loss account, we have income statement, we have cash flow statement. They are all verifiable evidence. In the case of primary data also, we are going to the field, we are collecting the data. Is it not? So we can use the word empirical for that. In other words, this type of research relies solely on evidence obtained through observation or any scientific data collection methods. Either through observation or through structured questionnaire or through interview schedule or through lab experiment. That is called empirical research. It can be conducted using either qualitative or quantitative observation methods depending upon the data sample. That is quantifiable data or non-numerical data. This is called empirical research. So these are all about the methods of research. Then we will go to the sampling design. Whenever we talk about the sampling or sample, we should know what is population. Unfortunately, some of the scholars or researchers mean that population refers to population of the study area, like Erode district, Namakkal district, Salem district. It's not like that. The population should be determined based on the universe, based on the sampling frame. For example, we are conducting a study among the customers of, for example, D-Mart. Customers of D-Mart. In that case, the population of the city is not called the population for your research. Number of customers of D-Mart alone will be the population. That difference should be understood for every scholar. So a population is a complete set of elements with a standard parameter between them. We are all aware of what the word population refers to daily. Yeah. Frequently, it is used to describe the human population or total number of people living in a geographical area of country or state or district or taluk or city. It is not in fact correct. Sometimes you are taking up a study on consumer behavior towards washing machine. Washing machine has become a part and parcel of every household now. And the population in this case doesn't mean that the number of washing machine sold in the district or used in the district. Because in one household, there is only one washing machine that can be used by any member of the family. Husband can use it, wife can use it, the children can use it, the parents can use it. So how can you determine the number of users of the washing machine? That cannot be determined. So here, in this case, we take the population of the district as the population. See the difference. Earlier I told you, customers of DMart means number of customers. Customers of GeoMart, Geo Fiber means number of customers. Customers of Airtel, number of customers, not the population of the city. But when we talk about the consumers, earlier customers of a specific product, of a specific brand, of a specific company or specific showroom, we have taken the number of customers as the population. Here, the number of consumers using, see, the television is there. In every house, we can find the television, one television, two televisions, three televisions or more. Television is watched by almost all the members of the family. How can you determine the size of population based on the number of televisions available in the district or city? So for that, we have to take the population of the city. Then I will explain you how to determine the sample size in that case. I will let you know later. So this is population. Then what is sample? It is a small group or smaller part of the whole. It is a subset of entire population. We draw some elements of population as a sample. We assure that it is representative of the whole population in a study. So to understand easily, we can say a sample is a subgroup or subset of a population, subset within the population. This is about population and sample. And many scholars have the doubt, sir, whether the sample size is to be determined first and the sampling method is to be decided later, or based on the sample method chosen, whether we have to determine the sample size. Even in your thesis, While writing the methodology, please keep following this procedure. First, we have to mention the sample size. Then only you have to mention the sampling method adopted. This is the correct procedure you have to follow while preparing your thesis. Then, steps in determining the sample size. First of all, we should define the population size or number of people. What is the size of population or number of people? Then you have to determine the margin of error. Margin of error is generally taken as 5%. We take level of confidence, no, 5%. The same, margin of error, 5%. The confidence level is the complementing one. That is, if the margin of error is 5%, confidence level is 95%. If the margin of error is 10%, confidence level will be 90%. If the margin of error is 1%, confidence level will be 99%. Then you have to predict the expected variance or expected proportion. Then only we can finalize the sample size. For determining the sample size, we have a lot of formula. Well-established formula are there. But the thing is, whether the size of population is known or unknown, whether it is large or small, based on that only you have to select the sample size formula. This formula is evolved by Cochrane. Cochrane has introduced a formula for determining the sample size. Look at the formula. Small n is sample size. Z is the Z score. Then P into 1 minus P divided by E square. Small n is the sample size. If we are using capital N, it is the population size. Z is used for Z score. P is the estimated proportion of the population. Then E is the error, that is margin of error. What I told you, normally we take margin of error as 5%. 5%. 5% means 0.05. 0.05. How to understand or identify the Z score? You have to use the Z table or normal frequency table. In that normal frequency table, for 5% of level, what is the Z score? Normally, for 5% level, Z score will be 1.96. 1.96. Then P is used to refer the estimated proportion. I told you, no, consumers of television in Salem district. Number one, it is large population. Number two, population size is not known. Number one, large population. Number two, we do not know how many people are using television. So capital N is not available. Capital N is not available. If it is not available, better you can use this Cochrane's formula. You can use the Cochrane's formula. So using the Cochrane's formula, I told you no, Z is equal to 1.96. So Z square equal to 3.8416. Yes, here population is unknown. Population is unknown. So we have to take the proportion, the two estimated proportion of population. Here we take the proportion only. If the population is not known, we assume that 50% of the population, we do not know the population size. We estimate that 50% of the population are the consumers. So P equal to 0.5. E equal to 0.05. That is 5%. Here 50%. See the difference. So P into 1 minus P. 1 minus P means again 0.5. 1 minus 0.5 equal to 0.5. So P into 1 minus P equal to 0.25. 0.5 into 0.5, 0.25. E equal to 0.05, I told you. So E square equal to 0.0025. Now substitute these values. N equal to Z square. Z square is 3.8416 into 0.25 divided by 0.0025. You will be getting 384 point something. So the sample size can be 384 or 385. In most of the cases, this is the ideal sample size. Then two other formulas are there. Both are same. One is Sloven's formula and another is Yamane's formula. Both are same. N equal to, small n equal to capital N divided by 1 plus capital N into E square. Capital N is the population size. So to apply this formula, we should know the population size. If it is known, then you can use the formula. Either you can mention that it is based on Sloven's formula or Yamane's formula. Both are same, n by 1 plus n into E square. Here, for example, sample size is 10,000. Sample size is 10,000. That is, population size is 10,000. E is 0.05, already told you. E square 0.0025. So n into E square, it comes to 25. N into E square, 25. So in the denominator, you can find 1 plus n into E square. That is 1 plus 25, that is equal to 26. So sample size equal to population size divided by 26. Population size 10,000 means 10,000 divided by 26 again we get 384. If it is if the population is increasing, it will be increasing a little. If it is 20,000, if the population size is 20,000, you will be getting some 390 or 92 like that only. So based on this, you can determine the sample size. After having determined the sample size only, you have to go for sampling method, which is the best or appropriate method to select the sample. And nowadays, you need not do all these calculations. We have online calculators. SurveyMonkey, ravsart.com, calculator.net, surveysystem.com. It will be like this. Look at here, population size, multi-crore, confidence level 95%. These inputs we have to give. Confidence level, margin of error 5%. So what is the result we are getting? 385. That's all. So even for multiple crores, the sample size will be, ideal sample size will be 385. You can determine above this 400 or 450 or 500 like that. But not a huge population, a huge sample. Like I have taken 1,000 samples are, 2,000 samples are not at all required. 385 enough. Then come to the sampling methods. There are basically two types of sampling methods. One is probability sampling methods and other is non-probability sampling methods. What is probability? Probability means chance of happening. Chance of happening. In this case, all the elements of population, should be given equal opportunity of being selected. In the previous case, I told 10,000 objects are there, 10,000 elements are there in the population. So how many elements are there? 10,000. If we are giving equal opportunity, what is the probability of each item? 1 by 10,000. You are tossing a coin. There are two sides, head and tail. What are the possible total number of possibilities? 2. What is the possibility of head? 1 by 2. What is the possibility of tail? 1 by 2. Likewise here, 1 by 10,000. 1 by 10,000 for all the 10,000 elements. You are throwing a dice. How many faces are there? 6 faces are there. What is the probability of each face? 1 by 6. So based on the total possibilities, we can determine the probability. So here, equal opportunity should be given to each and every element of population. So it implies that whenever you want to use probability sampling, you should know the population size certainly. Otherwise, equal opportunity is not at all possible. If you don't know the population size, you should not apply probability sampling methods. Then you can go for non-probability sampling methods. But in the case of PhD, non-probability sampling methods are not suggested by many examiners. So better you find some population size in any way and apply probability sampling methods. Out of the probability sampling methods, we have simple random sampling, systematic random sampling, stratified random sampling, and cluster sampling. In the case of non-probability sampling methods, we have convenience sampling, judgmental or purposive sampling, snowball sampling, and quota sampling. Mixed sampling method is there, that is multi-stage sampling method. Now we come to each and every one. In the case of simple random sampling, there is no specific order followed. Look at here. There are some 14 people, 14 persons in the population. Some are wearing orange color shirts. Some are wearing green color shirts. Like that. Here, in the case of simple random, it is very simple. We are not following anything. In this case, we go for lottery method. What is lottery method? How many persons are there? 14 persons are there. You write 14 names in separate sheets or chits. Small piece of paper is called chit. You write their names, each and every person, 14 persons. So you roll it, put it in a bowl, shuffle it well, pick up. What is the sample size? In this example, population size is 14, sample size is 4. So you pick one by one. First one, second one, third one, fourth one. Okay. See here, the shadowed persons are selected as samples. First one, fourth one, then 11th one, and 13th one. Whether they are green shirt persons, orange shirt persons, standing or sitting, male or female, irrespective of that classification. Just we have picked up 4 chits. 4 of them are selected. So it is very simple. That's why we call it as simple random sampling. Then we come to systematic random sampling. Systematic random sampling. See here, how many persons are there? 7 plus 6, 13 persons are there. Here, we have to follow a system. We have to follow a system. Okay. What is the population size? 15. In this, population size is 15. Suppose we have determined that the sample size is 5. Population size is 15. Sample size is 5. You just divide the population size by the sample size. 15 by 5 equal to 3. 15 by 5 equal to 3. You divide the population into subunits of 3 each. 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, then 10 to 12. Like that we have to divide. Then 13 to 15. Now we don't have 14, 15, means okay. Here in the first 3, 1, 2, and 3, you can pick up anyone. You can pick up anyone. In this example, first man is selected. What is the answer you have got from dividing the population size by sample size? It is 3. So every third is to be selected. Suppose you have selected first one, so 4th one, 7th one, 10th one, and 13th one. Suppose if you have selected the second one in the first 3, so 2nd, 5th, 8th, 11th, and 14th. Like that we have to select. So the shadowed persons are the samples. This is called systematic random sampling. In this case, unlike in the simple random sampling, in that case you have written 14 chits. Here, it is not to be done like that. In a single sheet, you have to write all the names in alphabetical order, either in ascending order or in descending order you have to write. Then you have to divide into different groups of 3 each, because population size by sample size equal to 3. So divide them by 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. In the first 3, you can select anyone, either first or second or third. Then from that, every third. First, 4th, 7th, 10th, 13th. Or second, 5th, 8th, 11th, 14th. Or third, 6th, 9th, 12th, 15th. Like that. This is called systematic random sampling. Then stratified random sampling. Here also, the entire population is divided into small groups, small units, based on homogeneity. Based on homogeneity. The topmost box is the population. It contains 15 elements. I'm sorry, 9 elements. Some squares are there, some circles are there, some triangles are there. Homogeneity means similar characteristics. So the squares are divided into one group. Circles are divided into another group. Then in the third group, triangles are divided or categorized. Each group, each unit is called stratum. Stratum is a singular form. Strata is the plural form. Like datum, singular form. Data, plural form. Here stratum. You have to select samples from each stratum. There are 3 strata. Population is divided into 3 strata. From each stratum, you have to select samples. In this case, one element is selected from each stratum. It need not be equal. It may be unequal. Anything can be there. That is called stratified. Since it is called stratum, we call the method as stratified random sampling. Then the other one is cluster. Here also, the population is divided into different units or subgroups. Unlike in the stratified random sampling, we need not check up the homogeneity. Same characteristics. See here, first 3 are red, green, then orange, then 2 orange, 1 green, 2 green, 1 orange, 1 green and 2 orange, different. So the thing is, we have to divide into 3. That's all. 15% are there. Population is 15. We divide into 3. Okay. Now we have to select the samples. In the case of stratified random sampling, I told you, you have to select samples from all the strata, from each stratum. Here, it is different. Instead of selecting samples from each stratum, we select certain clusters only. Here we call the subunit as cluster. So 5 clusters are there. Out of 5 clusters, we select 2 clusters only. It is your choice. Homogeneity need not be maintained. From these 2 clusters alone, you can choose the samples. The other 3 clusters are ignored. We call it as cluster sampling. Then come to convenience sampling. Non-probability sampling. First one, convenience sampling. It is up to your convenient. There are some persons far away, but you have selected only the reachable persons. That is called convenience. Many scholars write that it is convenience sampling, but some examiners do not accept if you have selected convenience sampling. So convenience sampling is the selection of sample respondents in the reachable places. Then come to snowball sampling and purposive sampling. In the case of snowball sampling, we do not know the persons to be selected. Even we do not know the population. Then how can we select the sample? But sometimes we know some of the people. See, in this case, the pink man is the researcher. He can identify only 3 persons, 3 samples. He asks these 3 persons to indicate some other persons. They have indicated 4 persons. In turn, these 4 persons have indicated some 3 persons. So here the sample grows via referrals. First one starting with purposively, then expanding through networks. It is called as snowball sampling. Then in the purposive sampling, the researcher selected elements are considered as population, sample. Entirely purposive or judgmental. No chain or expansion here. For example, in your college, there are several courses. You want to conduct a study among commerce students only. So the purpose is commerce. The purpose is commerce. So you can select the samples only from the commerce department. That is called purposive sampling. Then the other one is quota sampling is there. I told you, quota sampling. In this case, we allot certain percentage to each quota. Suppose your students are being selected for Republic Day parade to be held in New Delhi. The government selects some number of NCC cadets, NSS volunteers. Then from other categories also they are selecting. So for NSS volunteers, for example, 10% or 100% or 5% in proportion means 5%. From among the NCC cadets, 100%, 200%, like that, some quota is allowed. That is called quota sampling. Finally, we come to multi-stage sampling. Suppose you are conducting a study among the customers of public sector banks in India. Customer satisfaction about the service quality of public sector banks in India. So the sector is public, banking sector. Banking sector comprises commercial banks, rural banks, cooperative banks, etc. So different categories are there in the banking sector. So in the first stage, we select commercial banks alone. In the second stage, from the commercial banks, we know public sector banks and private sector banks are there. We select public sector banks alone. Then in the third stage, from the public sector, we are choosing State Bank of India and Canara Bank only. That is in the third stage. Then in the fourth stage, we are selecting the customers from State Bank of India and Canara Bank. So 4 stages, or sometimes 3 stages. In this case, in the world, different countries are there. In the first stage, few countries are selected. In the second stage, from each country, few segments are selected. In the third stage, from each segment, certain households are selected. In the fourth stage, from each household, some individuals are selected. This is about the multi-stage sampling. So, methods of research, sample size, and sampling methods. That's all about the today's module. Let us discuss tomorrow different topics. Thank you very much, all of you, for your patient listening. I thank personally Dr. K.S.R. and his team for the wonderful coordination of this program. Now, if you have any queries, you can ask me. Thank you very much.
Participants are requested to unmute your mic, then ask your question, if any, directly to the resource person.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam.
Sir, my doubt is regarding the sample size, sir.
Yes.
What if our respondents are going to be students? So my population, I cannot able to stratify the population, right? So in some colleges, they have several departments, and many students will be learning in all over the Chennai city or like Coimbatore city, like that. So how can I take only if I'm taking the students, my population, how will I take, sir?
Very good. See, I told you, no, multi-stage sampling you can choose, or stratified random sampling you can choose. In the case of multi-stage sampling, students in Chennai city in the first stage. Then in the second stage, whether you are choosing arts and science students or engineering students or polytechnic students, like that. Suppose you are choosing arts and science students alone, that is in the second stage. Then in the third stage, arts and science. So which colleges you are going to select? That too, in the third stage, you can go for government colleges, aided colleges, and self-financing colleges. Suppose you are choosing self-financing colleges, in the fourth stage, you can select the colleges. Some 5 colleges or 3 colleges, like that you can select. Then in the fifth stage, you can select the students. Okay, madam?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good
Any
evening,
other? Good evening, madam.
sir. It is very clear presentation,
Thank you, madam.
and I have a doubt for the sample size formula.
Yes.
Actually, when we are applying computerized formula or the manual formula, the result is 384 or 385.
Yes.
So when we are considering taking like more than 600 or something, if you want more, and they were asking what is the justification you take this number like that.
See, ideal size is 384. Okay. Ideal means you should not select samples less than that.
Yeah.
So above or beyond the ideal size, you can select any number, but it is better to contain within, as you told, 500 or 600, it's enough. Not more than 1,000, 2,000, not like that.
Yes.
So 600, you can mention. You can mention that based on this formula, I have found that ideal sample size is 384. In order to get more accurate results, I have chosen the sample size as 600, like that you can write.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding margin of error.
Yes,
Sir,
madam.
you told that the margin of error either should be 1% or 5%, right?
5%, normally 5%. Madam.
Recently I attended a presentation, sir, a scholar's presentation, where they have showed the margin of error as 4%. Is that is right or how it can be justified, sir?
Madam, I told you about the normal proceedings. Normally, we take 5%. 4%, 3%, 2% are very rarely used.
Okay.
And also, it is not widely used.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
in common, we take 5% only, madam.
Okay. So are you telling that taking 4% is an error or wrong, sir?
It is not error.
Ah.
It is rarely used, that's all. Because,
Okay, sir.
for 4% means
Ah.
you have to find out the Z square value for 4%.
Okay.
For 5%, I told you, it is
Yes.
now clear 1.96.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yes, sir. So if the Z square value is mentioned for 4%, then can we proceed with that 4% itself?
okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, that's not a
But
problem.
my
Right?
suggestion is
Yes.
always use 5%.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening, madam.
It was an excellent presentation, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I have a doubt, sir.
Yes.
I am making a research about impact of layoff.
Ah.
So, whom I can take as a sample or respondents? Shall I take the laid off employees, or everyone have the fear of laying off out of their company? Who would be the correct respondents for my study, sir?
No, ma'am. If you are selecting a particular company or particular industry, then the population size will be the number of employees in that particular company or industry. Okay. Generally, you cannot take, ma'am, because you have to narrow down the scope of study. Okay. So, if you are taking, as you said, layoff is a problem for everyone, even for IT industry, even for higher education institutions also, layoff is a problem. But the thing is, better you have to narrow down the study area.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I have one more query regarding the sample size formula. So when the population is known, you have told to use a Cochrane's formula, right, sir?
No. Population size is unknown means you have to use Cochrane.
Unknown means Cochrane. So for unknown, do we have only one formula or any other do we have, sir? Because you have shown only one.
Several people have given definitions or a formula for calculating the sample size, madam. Okay. But most widely used formula is Cochrane formula.
Okay. So when we use Cochrane formula or any other formula, will the result will be same or it will differ, sir?
To some extent it will differ, ma'am.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, and another one more thing. You told that non-probability is not at all suggested for PhD, right, sir?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Can you tell the reason, sir? Why? Because that is also a method of sampling, right? Why it cannot be used, sir?
Since it is not a probability method. Probability means, I told you, equal opportunity is given. So in this case, the sampling may be biased.
Okay.
That's why it is not suggested.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
one person asking in comment box, sir.
Yes. Tell me, Sagar.
If I do a research about impact of layoff in private companies,
That
who
the
should
other
be
one
my population?
They asked.
Okay, fine, sir.
Yes.
Any other?
Good evening, sir. I have a clarification. What kind of difficulties we'll get while collecting the samples?
While collecting the sample, see, sometimes in the past during the pandemic period, data collection was very difficult because to go and meet the people was very difficult. And during the data collection, which tool, which instrument we are using is playing vital role. Suppose if you are using a questionnaire method, then you can distribute the questions either through post or in person. Or nowadays we are using Google Form also. But in the case of interview schedule means you have to go and meet each and every person individually and conduct the interview. Then only you can collect the data. So if the population size is small and sample size is small, then better you can go for interview schedule method. If the sample size is large, you can go for the questionnaire method. So that is the difficulty while facing the data collection. And in the case of HR study, if you are conducting the HR study among the employees of a particular company, then the employees maybe have the fear of providing or furnishing the information to you. Because suppose in case you have let the employers know the information given by them, it will affect their employability. So their employment will be in question. That's why they may not give you right answers.
Okay, sir. I got it.
This could
Thank
be
you, sir.
shown in the limitations part.
Okay, sir. Thank you. That was a good presentation, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Participants, we will meet on next day in the same 7 o'clock. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, dear